All right, let's make sure everything's working okay. All right, we're good to go. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Malin. Welcome to another Madden 25 video. And it's time to start up the new rebuild. Yes, you see it right there on the screen. The next team we are going to rebuild in Madden 25 is the Cleveland Browns. Now, you may look at the starting roster for this team and think that, well, there's Deshaun Watson, there's Nick Chubb, there's Myles Garrett. Well, listen, this team is in need of a rebuild in a big way. And in my opinion, it actually starts with the quarterback. In my opinion, in real life, the Cleveland Browns need to do whatever they can to get rid of Deshaun Watson outside of him getting hurt. Now, I don't know if the rosters have been updated with injuries that have happened in real life, but I'm going to check and see if we even have Deshaun Watson available for this season, because the Madden servers, EA servers might have picked up that, hey, he tore his ACL, he's on IR, he's out for the year. And I also don't know if we're going to be able to use Nick Chubb in year one. But year one is not the year that we expect anything big to happen, because the reality is that this AFC North division is pretty stacked. You have the Ravens, who run the division, or at least have run the division for the last few years. In my opinion, despite the fact that in real life the Cincinnati Bengals are not very good, as long as Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase stay upright, that is a tough team to play against. And then also you have the Steelers. Now, if they get a young quarterback in this next draft class coming up, that could be the team that we're fighting for third place in the division. But obviously, as of right now, the Cleveland Browns are definitely in need of a rebuild. So let's go ahead and get going, starting out in the preseason. And by the way, the name of the person that I've created as the fictional owner, Sonny Weaver Jr., if you guys have ever seen the 2014 movie Draft Day that features the Cleveland Browns, he was the fictional general manager. The owner was actually a different guy, but I decided to make Sonny Weaver Jr. the owner to basically kind of have it be like Draft Day in 2014, the movie. So that way, so that's what I'm planning to do. Because if those of y'all who have seen the movie, you guys know that this guy made a bunch of trades. Draft Day is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It's one of my favorite football movies of all time for sure. I know that it kind of gets a bad rep because it's really not actual action on the field. It's more of the perspective of what things are like from an NFL front office, which makes the movie a little bit unique. But hey, you got real NFL players portraying different players. You have real life. You have Roger Goodell. You have Rich Eisen. You have all of the regular NFL Network media personalities in it. It's basically almost like, Cleveland Browns fans, want it to be a documentary. It's not really a documentary, but, if you had a GM or an owner like Sonny Weaver Jr., maybe you would be able to, I don't know, do something. But let's meet the roster for year one. But before we do that, I want to take a look at the injury report because look at this. We have a boatload of injuries, and I'm going to go position by position. Okay, so surprisingly enough, Deshaun Watson is not on here. So I guess we will be able to use his services. But you guys see it. Nick Chubb, even though he did come back in real life just this past week, he is on IR, 96 overall running back. We will not be able to use him this season. And also, Nyheim Hines has a quad tear. He's out for 4 weeks. He's on IR as well, so he can't come back as well. We have David Bell, one of our receivers, who's out for the year. He's on IR. Hugert, one of our backup tight ends, is on there. So is two of our left tackles. I don't know if any of these guys are starters, but I'm going to see here in a minute. We have two centers who are out for the rest of the year. We have a right guard who's out for the rest of the year. We have Alex Wright, a backup defensive end, who's out for the year. And we have a right outside linebacker, Tony Fields, who's done for the year. And we have a corner in Miles Harden that's out for the year. Juan Thornhill is out as well. So, yeah, we got a lot of players on here. But the biggest one, in my opinion, is Nick Chubb. Now, I am considering keeping him a Cleveland Brown because I feel like in these rebuilds, if you have a decent enough running back, kind of like we had with the Jaguars with Travis Etienne, that's somebody you could build around and you could work things out with the quarterback position. So let's take a look at our roster and meet the squad. See, look at this. Deshaun Watson is only a 72 overall, and Jameis Winston is the same overall as him. Now, listen, I'm actually going to go with Deshaun Watson for this first season because even though he's 72, Jameis Winston is the same rating, but I feel like Watson, is still the better of the two, as much as it pains me to say it. And here's one thing I want to say about what the Browns fans did when they booed him. I understand that Myles Garrett was trying to come to the defense of his teammate, but everyone knows what Deshaun Watson did, what he was accused of, and why he's no longer in Houston. The Cleveland Browns are one of the dumbest teams in National Football League history for trading for a man who came with all of this baggage and a big contract. Because I'm going to go and take a look at the team's salaries. Deshaun Watson being a 72 overall quarterback, and on the contract that he has, if it's anything like in real life, see, look at this. He is under contract until 2027. I don't think I can work with a 71, 72 overall quarterback and be stuck with that for 5 more seasons. Because rebuilds might take 5 seasons, but sometimes by the 5th season, the team may not be able to be held. Because one thing that happens sometimes in rebuilds, if I go longer than 4 or 5 years, if you operate in the red, you're in jeopardy of losing your job as the owner, which means that unfortunately the rebuild cannot be complete because I lost my job. And that, of course, I can't afford to do. But Watson is under contract until 2027. If we were to cut him, it would be an $80.5 million cap penalty. If we wait until next year, it wouldn't be as big of a penalty. 2025, it goes up. 2026, it goes up. And, of course, going into 2027, in 2026 would be his final season with us. So we really would only have him for like 3 seasons. But the reality of it is this. We are going to be looking for a quarterback probably in the draft or in free agency, because another thing that I focus on when it comes to rebuilds is overall ratings. And right now our top 2 quarterbacks are both 71 overalls. And Jameis Winston is set to be a free agent. Deshaun Watson looking like he's going to be probably a backup at this point. And we got Thompson Robinson. I really don't plan on building around him. I plan on keeping him as our backup 3rd-string quarterback just for the time being. Okay, so enough with the quarterback situation. Let's take a look at running backs. Jerome Ford is going to be basically our starting running back for this first season, 78 overall, so not very great there. We have Foreman, who's 74, but he is only on a 1-year deal. He won't be back next year. Ford is still going to be here for this year, so I want to keep him as the backup because we're probably going to have to fork over a decent chunk of change to keep Nick Chubb in Cleveland. Hines, don't plan on keeping him too much longer, and Pierre Strong, not really much either. We actually don't have a fullback, so I'm probably going to go out and sign one. Our receiving core needs some work. Jerry Jeudy, 81 overall, is not that bad, but we only have one receiver in the 80s, and it's a guy in the low 80s. And I feel like that I need to get another decently good receiver in the offseason. Elijah Moore, 77, is not that bad. You have Thrash. I wonder if that's James Thrash's son. I think it is. If anybody remembers who James Thrash is, then you're a true football fan. Washington, Redskins, Eagles guy back in the day. I think that's probably his son. So a young guy to build around, that's positive. David Bell will be back after the injury this next season. He's a good young receiver, but 69 overall, getting rid of him, I think at the end of this year is probably what we're going to do. We have Tillman as well. Okay, tight end wise. David Njoku is in the 90s. He's our only skill position player that is even in the 90s. And he is definitely somebody that I'm planning on keeping around. He's already a superstar. We have 71 Jordan Atkins. We got Jeff Swaim, a former Dallas Cowboy. We got Hughlett, who's injured, who I showed you earlier, and Rex Suahara, who's our long snapper. We have Willis, who's a 75 overall. He has regressed because in previous Maddens, his rating was in the 80s, and he was pretty solid. So, decent at left tackle, but obviously could get improvement there. Left guard is an 85 with Bitonolio. Probably going to keep him around just to keep a guy in the 80s. So we got a solid left guard, one of our team captains. We got a 72 center in Ethan Pokic. Our starting right guard is going to be out for the year with Teller, so we're going to have to go with Zinter this season. So our starting right guard this year is going to be a 70 overall. Not that great. Right tackle, we have Jack Conklin, who's an 80 overall. Maybe he'll go up a little bit. That's solid, but probably could use some improvement there. at right tackle. Zadarius Smith, I think he's set to be a free agent at the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it's the next year. I can't really remember. He's a solid defensive player, 31 years old, 80 overall. Maybe I'll keep him around for one more year if I don't think I can get better. This guy is the face of our franchise right now, Myles Garrett. And, kind of like with, Micah Parsons, if you have a decent defensive player to build around, it makes the rebuild a little bit easier, but it also, means that you still have to build around that guy. But 98 overall. Our other guy in the 90s, Alex Wright, is backing him up. He's hurt, though. Defensive tackle-wise, we have Tomlinson who's a 77. We got a 76 and another 76. So we need improvement there. We need improvement at left outside linebacker. Devin Bush, 74 overall, is solid, but could get better. We have a 79 overall Jordan Hicks. He's kind of getting up there in age, but, maybe worth keeping one more year. I'm not really sure. Owosu, one of our best players as well, 85 overall. Something tells me, and he's also still young. He's only 24. I'm hoping that he's not done progressing. I'm hoping that he gets up a little bit, and maybe he's in the 90s in the next couple of seasons, because like Myles Garrett, that would be another solid defensive player to build the linebacking core around. Cornerback-wise, we got two pretty good guys. We got Denzel Ward, who's a 90 overall. Oof, boy, and he's just 27, so he still has some work to be done. He's one of our captains. And we got Greg Newsome II. He's an 84 overall. We got a 79 Emerson Jr., 73 Mike Ford. So our cornerback room is actually pretty solid. And Emerson could probably get in the 80s by the midpoint of the season. So I like some stuff on defense. It's just our offense, and especially the quarterback position, that I really have some questions about with doing this rebuild. Juan Thornhill is getting up there just a bit in age. He's going to be hurt for the year, but 78 overall still might be worth keeping around. I think he's set to be a free agent this offseason, but may keep him around. Ronnie Hickman is going to have to be the starter this year, 71 overall. He's a backup. D'Anthony Bell is going to back him up. Strong safety, Del Pitt is an 82 overall strong safety. So we got a pretty good strong safety to start out with. And Rodney McLeod Jr., he's a bit of a veteran guy, been around for the league for a long time, 75 overall, 12 years in the league. Something tells me he may retire at the end of the season. Kicker, we got Dustin Hopkins, and punter is Corey Bajorquez. So if you look overall at our roster, we have just four guys in the 90s. One of them, of course, will be out for the year. But, Ward, Njoku, and Garrett are three guys that I want to build this team around. We just got to pick the right quarterback, because right now, in my opinion, not just based on, my own feelings about Deshaun Watson, but based on the fact that he's 71 overall and he's eating up all of this cap space and he's under contract for the next 3 years, means we're basically stuck in quarterback purgatory. Now, if I draft a decent quarterback, we will be trading Deshaun Watson in the offseason. That is the plan that I'm planning on doing. I'm just hoping that by trying to trade him, we don't put ourselves in a giant hole. But we'll see. Hopefully I can pull it off or do something in order to get his contract off of our books. It may be some dead money there for the next couple of seasons, but at least we would get better at the quarterback spot, because we can't have a guy eating up that much cap space sitting on the bench. That would be a dumb thing to have. And even as the owner, as much as I want to move on from Watson, I'm obligated to start him right now. That's the way the Cleveland Browns are. They're obligated to start Deshaun Watson until they don't have to. Last year he got hurt. This year he got hurt and tore his ACL again. It's kind of a shame to see what Deshaun Watson's career has turned into, because he was a good player with the Houston Texans. But now with the Browns, he's a disaster. Most of it is because of the baggage that he carried with him, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's get ready to get to football. Let's go ahead and start out with the preseason. We only have 51 guys on the roster, so I'm actually going to make a couple of moves. It looks like that we did win our first preseason game. So I want to go ahead and get a fullback on the roster. There's actually no practice squad guys. Okay, so I'm actually going to wait until everybody gets cut, and then I'm going to take a fullback from the practice squad, and that's what I'm thinking about doing. But I actually want to see, are there other positions that we could use some depth at? I feel like receiving, we could use some help, but I don't know. And I don't want to make too many moves in terms of getting help at certain positions. But let me see about free agency in terms of receivers. If somebody's still out here who can help us out. Is there a guy maybe in the 70s or the 80s who could help us out at receiver? just for this season for 1 year. Well, Peoples-Jones used to be a Brown. There's Richie James. There's Agnew, McKenzie. I'm going to bring in Richie James to help us out at receiver for this season, just a little bit. Give us a little bit of help. Not expecting too much. I mean, we're bringing him in, on a 1-year deal. I'm just expecting Richie to kind of just help out a little bit with the receiving corps to an extent, give us another option, especially with Bell being out for the whole year. So, Richie James comes in, 75 overall. He boosts up the receiving corps a little bit, and he also fits our scheme. That's another reason why I decided to sign him. So, got a third receiver in Richie James to help out our receiving corps a little bit. So, hopefully that'll help us out just a touch. All right. Playing the Vikings this week in the week 2 of the preseason. We beat the Packers last week, and we beat the Vikings this week. We actually scored 52 points, so that's actually pretty good. And we actually are still not at 53 players, so I'm actually going to go and sign maybe somebody else. Do we have practice squad eligible guys that are fullbacks? No, we do not. Okay, so I guess that just won't be – there won't be anything we can do there until later, so there weren't really any starters that I think can be instantly upgraded with free agents. I mean, there's not much improvement wise, and we just wanted to get another receiver to an extent. There's no quarterbacks that are really any decent out here. No running backs either. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of let this ride. Even though we only have 52 players, we're going to add a 53rd guy with a fullback, whether it's a practice squad guy or a free agent. So that's what I'm planning on doing. All right, Seahawks this week, and we get the win over Seattle. So we actually go undefeated in the preseason, which isn't that bad. Coaching-wise, Kevin Stefanski, I'm still planning on keeping him on here for a couple more years unless we just can't make the playoffs and just can't find a way to get out of the hole that we're in. So I'm going to hold off on, making any coaching moves right now. We're just going to keep Stefanski as our guy. I'm just hoping that, by keeping him too long, it doesn't come back to bite me too much. But we upgraded him a little bit. And with Stefanski as an offensive-minded head coach, I feel like that could help with whatever young quarterback we get in the draft, or if we find a quarterback in free agency who's young we want to build around. So we'll see kind of how that plays out. All right, so we're getting ready to start the regular season. We don't have to do cut days because we pretty much have, we don't have to cut anybody. Practice squad eligible, practice squad ineligible on practice squad. Okay, so there's no fullbacks available in free agency, which is a little bit surprising, but it is what it is. Let's go choose the draft class. Let's go ahead and import the local file that we downloaded for the 2026 draft. Make sure this is the correct one. TJ Parker, Trey Moore. Oh, actually, that's the wrong one. Import local file. That's 2026. We need 2025. It's this one. Yeah, it's this one. We got Milrow. And another thing is that a lot of the top, there's a decent number of quarterbacks that are right now projected to be in the top. So maybe it's Milrow, maybe it's Sanders or Ewers, or maybe it's Carson Beck, somebody like that, or Alar, or maybe Cam Ward. There's a good number of quarterbacks that are high up there, and I think that'll be our first-round pick, whichever way we look at it. And we'll see kind of how the rookie scouting comes during the season and, who they rank as the better one and, just what they predict. So, we'll kind of see what happens there. All right, let me go ahead and check our depth chart really quick for this first season, and let me just make sure everything is correct. So we got Ford, and I'm going to put Strong in there as our third string running back. Fullback-wise, we're going to go with that. We got Richie James, of course. We've got all these guys. Joku. Another left tackle. I guess we don't. Do we have another center? We don't have another center that's available. Okay, we must have injuries. Okay, we've got right guard issues. Okay, so we got Senior, we got Dunn. That's our starter there. Conklin, left end. Let's put Oh, Zadarius is hurt. Okay. Garrett. Bush. We got Hicks. Owosu. Corner-wise. Got those 5 guys listed. Got Bell. Delpit. Don't have a kick return in place there. Let's put Richie James in there. Let's put Mitchell. Let's put Strang. Let's put just the top guys as our. Let's put Richie James also as our punt returner. Let's go Mitchell. Let's go Strong as well. All right, kickoff specialist. Let's go Jorwitz. Where's our? This guy's our long snapper. We're down back. Ratings aren't really high for these guys, but we're going to have Ford be that guy. We're going to have Foreman be the power guy. Strong there. Slot receiver. Left in is Garrett. Another one is Watson. We'll have kind of that be the rotation. Actually, you know what? Let's change this up a little bit. Right end. Okay, all right. We'll just do that. These are practice squad guys. All right, so depth chart looks good. It's reordered and everything the right way that I want it. And, okay then. All right, so I'm going to simulate to the middle of the season and see where we're at. I'm probably going to sign a fullback in the middle of the season because maybe they'll be free agents by that point. And let's see where the Cleveland Browns are. Well, we are just like the Browns in real life. We are 1-6. And we just lost to the Bengals. So pretty much everything is kind of shaping up to be like I thought it would be. Let's check out our depth chart. Let's check out the injury report, actually. That's what I meant to do. See if we have any new injuries here. Looks like we don't. So that's good. We don't have any new injuries than what we already have. So that's at least a positive. But yeah, all right then. So are there any fullbacks available? Please tell me there's a fullback available. Practice squad, there's really no fullbacks? That's crazy. Well, maybe during this offseason we'll be able to solve that issue. We're just going to have to go with that the way that it is. Let me take a look at, not scout college players. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm going to take a look at statistics. I want to see kind of, what's going on this season with our team. Okay, so Watson started for 1,600 yards. He has 10 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Not good, but not great. It's good, but not great, I should say. Ford, 111 carries already, 361 yards, no touchdowns. Foreman has the only rushing touchdowns we've had this entire season, 3 of them, which means going in on goal line situations. Elijah Moore is our leading receiver. Richie James bringing him in actually might have helped out a little bit. He has as many receiving yards as Moore. James actually has 4 touchdowns on the year. Judy only has 2, and Njoku has 3. So offensively, nothing really too spectacular there. What about defense? How's Myles Garrett doing this year? Garrett is not leading us in tackles, but then again, you don't need that. He has 7 tackles for loss, so I think that leads the ball club. And he also has 4.5 sacks. So despite the fact, and Bush has 3 sacks as well. So despite the fact that we're 1-6, Myles Garrett at least is doing his thing with 4.5 sacks. Hopefully he'll be on his way to the Pro Bowl, and that'll be a positive sign of things to come with keeping the defense being built around a dominant force like that. So at least Myles Garrett's doing his thing on defense with 4.5 sacks in the middle of the season. So that's good. Scouting national focus, delegate decisions. Let's take a look at the negotiation screen and see whose contracts are up. Look at that cap room, minus $2.1 million. We are in cap hell. We literally cannot do anything with these guys. So let me just try to see if I can do a contract offer. Additional funds can be made available via contract restructuring in the offseason re-sign week. Okay. So during the offseason re-sign week, when we have the offseason coming up, we're going to have to adjust a lot of contracts. Now, maybe we can restructure Deshaun Watson's, so it'll be easier to shop him and be able to really improve this team. Because based on the fact that we are starting out year one, negative $2.1 million, we're in trouble. This team may be tougher to rebuild than I thought. And not only that, but we're starting out the first year at 1-6. Let's see weekly awards. Do we have some award winners this week? So Deshaun Watson won AFC Offensive Player of the Week, 289 passing yards, 3 passing TDs. He was sacked once, 1 carry, 4 yards. Okay, well, it is what it is. All right, so we're playing the Ravens this week. Let's see if we get a win, an upset win. I do plan on playing the last game of the regular season, as I always do in the rebuilds, especially in year one if we don't make the postseason. We actually beat the Bengals the previous week, so that's actually different. That was our first win of the season. So we started out the year actually 0-6, but we got beat by the Ravens pretty bad. We have trade offers for Hurst, one of our defensive tackles. Thanks, Cisco. Okay, you're under 500 and you've watched this team struggle the first half of the season. Turning it around as soon as possible has to be in the mindset, right? I really, all it needs to be said, this is a group that we assembled to win a Super Bowl. Absolutely, this team's better than what the record, but if not, there's going to be changes. That's the one that we need to say because, hey, we're not expecting playoffs in year one with the way this roster is shaped up and the way the salary cap is. We got work to do. So we actually have trade offers here for Maurice Hurst, our backup defensive tackle. I guess the trade deadline hasn't passed yet. I usually thought it was passed by this point. So Hurst is one of our backup defensive tackles. He's basically third string. So there's some packages here, quite a few of them actually. But where do we really need some help? Could get a corner from the Cowboys. Anthony Walker Jr., middle linebacker who's not that bad. Could get some receiver help. Kadarius Toney is with the Raiders. Okay, I don't think that's anything in real life. McGovern is a center, but he's not a starting center. Toney actually has a development trade. I didn't know that. This guy's development trade, of course, is hidden. But wasn't there an offer with a decent receiver or something? Ronnie Bell, 70 overall receiver. Oh, Parker Washington, 71 with the Jaguars. I don't know. I don't really know what we really even need help with. Maybe we can get maybe Washington and we can get a 7th round selection. For 2026, though, we wouldn't be able to use the pick right away. That one at least gives us a pick for this season, for this offseason. Wallace is a decent corner. So's Watson. But they're about the same. Stills, Sanborn. I think this Parker Washington deal actually looks... No, I don't know. We don't really need another receiver. I think this Levi Wallace trade is the best one. We're going to go ahead and give them Maurice Hurst, one of our backup defensive tackles, for a corner who's 76 overall, who could help us out with depth there, and a 2025 6th-round pick. We're going to accept this trade. That's what we're going to go with. So we got Levi Wallace, a new corner who played for the Cowboys, to help us out a little bit. So in terms of our depth chart, that should help us out at corner, at least a little bit. So we got a new cornerback. And Wallace is the 4th best corner on the team, but could help us out a little bit. And we also were able to get a pick and Hurst, one of our backup defensive tackles, who I probably was going to get rid of anyway during the offseason. We were actually swapping for a pick. So solid trade offer, got a cornerback to help us out with depth. Decided to take it. I guess I should have done the Kadarius Toney one, but I don't really know if Toney would really have helped us out very much because, receiving wise, we're going to just focus on that during the offseason in terms of getting better at that position. All right. Has the money got any better? No, we're actually minus $6.4 million now, so we're even more in the hole. Chargers are the team that we play this week, and we won. So we actually are now 2-7. So we were able to pick up our second win of the season. Baby steps, that is what it is. I think 17 is enough skill points to spend on something for one of our assistant coaches. Yeah, let's spend some on our offensive coordinator's coaching tree, Will Hudson. All right. Next up, let's go ahead and get through the bye week and see what we've got going on now. Let me check free agency again. Let's see if there's a fullback available for us to pick up. Nobody. Okay, so I've all given up on trying to find a fullback at this point of the season. It's not going to happen. Well, we're 2-7, and we're on the road to take on the 4-6 Saints. This team looks pretty good. Probably another loss. We're struggling this season. We may be one of the worst teams in the league. But you know what? A rebuild has to start from somewhere, and we lost by 4 touchdowns to the Saints, and now we play the division rival Steelers this week, who are 5-5. So, plenty of work to do here in Cleveland. Lost to the Steelers, so we're getting beat pretty soundly in all of these games. So kind of deflating, but, we're starting from the bottom, and we're going to try to work our way back up. Playing the Broncos this week, they're 4-8. They're not too much better than us, but we're 2-9. What do you expect? We're injured all over the place. Lost again. We're playing the Steelers again this week. They're 7-5. Looks like they're probably in the playoff picture. Yeah, they are at the 7th spot. So, yeah, it is what it is in year one. Just kind of playing out the stretch here. We've lost a bunch of games in a row, and we're really struggling to win anything out here. But, like I said, planning on playing the last game of the regular season for sure to try to get a win. Injury report. Let's see if we have any more new injuries. No, we don't. Same group that's been hurt all year long, so fortunately, we've had no new injuries pop up so far during the season that have been really big time. So, Chiefs this week, we have no shot against them, no question about it. And we get the brakes beaten off of us again. I know there's a lot of players on this roster that are tired of this losing, but hey, listen. If you give me some time, guys like Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, we'll get this turned around. We're going to get this turned around. May take maybe longer with the salary cap hell that we're in now. But I feel confident that we can make some moves to get this team turned around. It's just going to take a little while, but we're going to see what we can do. So we only have a few more games left. We have 3 more games left. We're playing the Bengals again, our Ohio brethren, and we lose to the Bengals again. I think we've lost every game that we've played in the AFC North this year, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, we did beat the Bengals earlier in the season. So, of course, they got revenge on us when we were at their place. So, yeah. So we only won 1 game in the AFC North this year so far, and that's probably the way that it's going to finish. We have a new injury. Who's hurt? Elijah Moore has a broken thumb. He's out for 3 weeks. I'm actually going to go ahead and put him on IR because he's basically going to miss the rest of the season. He's got no shot to come back. We only have a few more games left anyway. We only have 2 more games left. We're not making the playoffs. We're just going to put him on IR. I do want to, maybe I'll go ahead and sign another receiver to help us out for the last few weeks. I don't even know who would be out here at this point of the year. Probably nobody any good. Robbie Chosen is out here. Let's bring in KJ Hamler for the last couple of games. Just to help us out at receiver so we have another option out there. Fits our scheme, so that's why I went with him. Let me see about the depth chart for our receiving core now. We still have Jerry Jeudy out there, but we got Richie James, we've got Hamler, and we've got Thrash, we've got Tillman. So, yeah. Okay. All right, only 2 more games left. Dolphins coming to our place this week. They're 6-9, but they're better than us. And, of course, they show it, and we lose to them. All right, so final game of the regular season. We're going to go on the road and play the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be a pretty tough game because this team is really is bad. We're 2-14, and in the AFC, we are the worst team in the AFC. We may be the worst team in the league. I'm not sure. Let's see what the standings are overall in the league. Where are we? We are the worst team in the league. Well, number 1 overall pick. Now, then again, if I win this week, then it actually, and the Panthers win, then that could actually hurt us. But anyway, so going into the final game of the regular season, I want to take a glance and see what the stats are looking like for like Watson and everybody. Well, Watson's over 3,000 yards. He has 18 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. Oh, God, that's ugly. That is just ugly for a franchise quarterback who's 71 overall to have numbers like that. Ford looks like he won't even get to 1,000 yards a season, but he's a backup running back anyway. Watson is our second leading rusher with 283 yards. Our leader in rushing touchdowns is tied between Ford, Watson, and Foreman. The running game has been non-existent this year without Nick Chubb, so that's not very good. Our leader in touchdown was actually a guy that we brought in off the street in Richie James, who has 10 receiving touchdowns. Jeudy only has 3, and Njoku has 4. So, and Moore didn't even have a touchdown this season. He's out for the rest of the year. So, bringing in Jeudy is supposed to be that number 1 receiver for us, and he is anything but a number 1 receiver. As a matter of fact, Richie James, if he goes for over 100 yards in this game, he'll have 1,000 receiving yards for the year. So I guess kind of reassuring. Maybe I'll consider bringing Richie James back if we can afford him for another season, but I don't know. Maybe he'll be a young receiver we can build around a little bit, but we will see. Let's take a look at the playoff picture heading into the final week of the regular season. The Ravens have the number 1 seed. We're playing them in the last game of the regular season. It's the Chiefs and the Steelers, the Bills and the Jets, the Jaguars and the Chargers. We got the Lions against the Rams. We've got the Bucks against the Packers and the Niners against the Eagles. And the Cowboys have the number 1 seed. So yeah, that's the way the playoffs are looking for year 1. Well, here we go, going on the road to play our final game of the regular season, last one with this group, and probably the last game that Deshaun Watson will play in a Cleveland Browns uniform. Because, we're getting ready to buckle up for an interesting offseason filled with, some trades and some crazy moves.
It's the NFL on EA Sports. And here comes Denzel Ward, who's been productive from his corner spot all season.
Ward with 6 interceptions during the year. That's not bad. Obviously, we've had injuries throughout the year. We've dealt with adversity. We right now are going to probably finish as the worst team in the league. But you know what? Hey, we're the Cleveland Browns. We're used to stinking, but believe me, I'm here to fix the problem. I am here to rebuild this team, and maybe getting a big win to end the season against the Baltimore Ravens will springboard us going into next season. We will see. But we still have a lot of work to do once the final gun goes off in this game. So here come the Ravens on offense. They, of course, have driven down the field right on our defense. Myles Garrett can't do everything, obviously, by himself, so pretty tough sledding. As a matter of fact, Myles Garrett, I want to control you, sir. We can't get Garrett around there, but we get Lamar Jackson down, but he gets a few good yards. He looked like he was hurt for a second. Yeah, look at all that. We got Thornhill out. We got, everybody out. That screen didn't even show most of the injuries, so we still have way more guys than that. Ooh, but we get a good tackle in the backfield by Bush. Nice tackle. Maybe we can make a stop here, force a field goal. Oh,
This time,
I thought it was going to be a delay of game for a second, and Watson threw a terrible pass that's incomplete, and we forced him to kick a field goal. So not bad for this defensive possession for the doo-doo Browns.
This just a 24-yard attempt.
But Justin Tucker comes in, makes the field goal. Baltimore is up 3-0 on Cleveland. Here we go on offense. It's 3rd and 2. And Jameis Winston is in at QB. Let me check something here. Is Watson hurt? Is Watson out? No, I guess not. Can I adjust the depth chart to put Watson in the game? Yeah, let's put Watson in the game. I don't know why he's not in there. His rating has gone down, which is not good. But Jerome Ford gets the first down for us. That's good. Is Watson in? Yeah, Watson's in. Okay. Should have done that before the game. Watson, is probably your last game, so we're going to let you quarterback this team. Jerome Ford, ooh, give him the moves. Jerome Ford, first down. Let's go.
It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a first and
You know,
goal.
Ford's a decent back. It's just, there's no Nick Chubb. That's the thing that he is. It's not his fault. Just throw it away, Watson. I was out of the pocket. That was a legal throwaway. All right. Red zone up here. Let's see if we can get Judy over the middle. Judy, touchdown. Beautiful throw that time by Watson for 6. Nice catch by Judy. It's probably his first touchdown in many weeks. Ravens do get a touchdown and take the lead over on us. And defensively, we're out here again, looking to make a stop. 2 minutes left in the half, less than 2 minutes actually. Make a stop, make a stand. You missed the tackle on Andrews, and he gets an easy first down.
Let's jump back into the
Well,
action
see if
with
we can at
this
least
defense
hold him to a
going
field
against
goal.
a 1st and 10 at the 11. Again, Jackson. Looking left side, and he's got him in.
Andrews got a first down.
Now the Ravens going to use one of
This
their
guy's hard to
timeouts
stop.
as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
So rush inside. And Jackson keeps it for 6.
The Ravens touched it.
So we're going into the half down by 10. We get one more chance. It's 3rd down and 4. If we can convert this, not take too much time off the clock, could kick a field goal, but the problem is timeout. All right, 2 seconds left. We can kick a field goal.
With 2 seconds remaining in the second,
At least be down by 7 going to the half.
left here in the half.
Big first down that we picked up. And at least we get points before the half is over with Hopkins nailing the field goal. We're only down by 7 going to halftime. So, not a bad way to end the half. Could have been worse. But the Ravens, they do score again. Maybe our offense can catch up, can keep up a little bit. Do have Watson back in there. See if we can keep up. It's going to be tough, though. Judy, come on, make it up. That was a bad throw by Watson. It's 3rd down, too. All right, coach going to let's go for it on 4th down. Not surprised. It's the last game of the year, so we're going to do it. Oh, and he didn't get it. I shouldn't have probably thrown that route. That was short.
The defense says they stopped him, and they did. They go play action with Jackson. He finds Bateman
first
over the
down.
middle. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. From midfield now, here's Jackson.
Ooh, deflected by Smith. Nice job.
These two teams, you might recall, met back.
Looks like I got out of the whole play the moments deal. But you know what? It's okay. Give me a whole rest of the 3rd quarter and 4th quarter. See what I can do. I left my assignment. Darius was supposed to drop in coverage. Instead, I rushed him. Should have done that.
Now a timeout called for by the offense. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. To throw again is Jackson.
Smith gets the sack. Let's go, Zadarius. Nice play.
And he goes down. Well, Zadarius Smith there getting in and bringing him to the ground.
Nice job.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Jackson now. Completes it.
There we go. Make that play. All right. It's 3rd and 12. We can get off the field.
Taken down there after getting 8 yards.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Got 1 quarter left in this disastrous season, and we're down by 2 touchdowns. But not over yet. We can rally. Maybe we can do this.
And for the call of the second half, we go back up to Baltimore and rejoin Brandon and Charles.
Back now in Baltimore. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12.
3rd and 12.
Now it's Jackson.
Oh, come on. Come on. Just, man.
Jackson's such a threat with those legs. Able to improvise and get the
He's hard to stop, and we're going to be dealing with this guy for the next several years in our division. That's the tough thing.
In motion left, Bateman.
Ball start? Yes, it is.
Delay of game.
Or delay a game. I'd be surprised that Jackson would do something like that.
Accepted, and it backs the offense up
It's
a little
1st and
bit.
15.
Delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Play action. Now Jackson. To the right side, into the hands of Flowers. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a 1st down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10. 10th carry now for Derrick Henry.
Okay, good tackle on Henry there. Don't let that guy get loose.
Right around the 13. Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. From the gun, Jackson.
Take that play. Oh, good tackle. All right. Are they going for this? Come on, Ravens. They're showing no mercy. I'll remember this. I will remember this, Lamar, and you are not getting that 1st down, and we stopped him short. Great defensive play. Way to step up, defense. They drove down that field for a long time on us, but we stopped them. Now, let's try to take care of business on our side. Come on, Watson. These throws are just ridiculous. Watson, I'm kind of glad that hopefully I'll be done with you after the season if you're going to keep making throws like that, sir.
And this throw incomplete. The defender all over.
Well, we're trying to get back in this game, and you can't complete a pass.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains.
And that was almost a pick. We're going for this. It's 4th quarter. Nothing to lose.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive.
Joku, please catch that. Thank you, sir. 1st down. All right. Maybe that's the spark. Big completion downfield to the tight end.
To the 40 now for 1st down. Now it's Watson.
That was a bad throw.
It's incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw and coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways.
Richie,
Up if you can, but at least knock it down.
If I arched a little more, maybe he can caught that ball. Oh, I don't know why I called the screen here. It's going to double slant.
In this case, he just stared
Double slant, double slant.
that allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
That's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first
Well,
pick of the game.
let's go for it again.
Watson going to stay out there as they'll go for it on 4th. Desperation time. Watson on 4th.
Thrash. 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 What a play. What a play.
Enemy territory. Back to throw. Watson.
Oh, come on. A line.
Chris Wormley. for a loss of 12 that time. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. And now he'll fire deep downfield for James.
Richie, you...
This is going to be dropped. Oh, my gracious.
How do you have... You had it, and then you just let it go. Come on, man. Somebody just hold on to the ball.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there. And now 4th down. Gotta try it here. He's back to throw.
And I can't even get the freaking throw off. Man, got a lot of work to do with this team.
They'll start by running the option to the right.
There's nobody over there to bring him down. He's just that good, guys. He's just that good.
Chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and
Woo!
goal. They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. They'll try and run for it with Henry. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line.
He almost got that in.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back from the 2 now, 2nd and goal. They've got a 2nd and goal now as they look to add a few more points here onto their total.
Call timeout.
And quickly we're
I know it's probably worthless, but just call timeouts.
Left as they call the timeout defensively. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. Now Jackson.
And the freaking linebacker just stood there. Let him walk into the end zone.
Lamar Jackson.
Ugh.
8-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens extend their 4th quarter lead, and they are closing in now on a 14-win campaign.
Well, let's just try to score one more touchdown to end the season. Make ourselves feel a little bit better.
21. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
Come on, Hamlin.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And the football going back over now to the Cleveland Browns.
All right, Sean. This is most likely your last drive as a Brown. See if we can score it here. And we can't even get the throw off.
Continue on now here in this 4th quarter. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Here's Watson. Under pressure, and they got to him again.
Our left tackle is getting beat like a drum this whole game. Can't get a throw off. Jeez. Offensive line needs a lot of work too, it looks like this team. Outside. All right. It's a short 4th down now, so that's good. Oh, they're reviewing it, of course. I mean, this doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. The game's already over. We're just trying to score one more touchdown.
Did he keep those feet in bounds?
He did. All right, so they ruled it a catch. It's 4th down, though, so we need 2 yards.
On 4th down, Watson.
And Judy,
Incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go.
I think this entire offense needs a makeover. If we can get Nick Chubb to sign and bring him back, I think that makes that all the more important that we keep Nick Chubb, because outside of him, I don't think anybody else on this offense at the skill positions is worth keeping long term. Seriously, Deshaun Watson, so inaccurate in the second half, it wasn't even funny. He's throwing passes that are like way ahead of the receiver, way behind the receiver.
They'll try the right side with Henry.
Our receiving core isn't that great either. Jared Jeudy just dropped he wasn't wide open, but he should have caught that ball. Just can't do anything. We only scored 1 touchdown. I know Jeudy caught a touchdown earlier. That was because Watson actually threw the ball very well for the only time it seemed like in the game. On the plus side, we pretty much have locked in the number 1 seed in the number 1 pick in the draft. So Looks like we are the worst team in the NFL. We will finish as the worst team in the league, and we will have the #1 pick. So at least that's something that we can hang our hats on a little bit. But I did not expect us to have the worst record in the league. And, let me take a look at the standings, actually. So let me take a look at the standings to see if what I think is true, that we do have the worst record in the league. We do. 2-15. We are the worst team in the league. And, yeah. And you know what, guys? I know that year one may not be the best. But first of all, I want to see what coaches got fired, because it made time. Okay, so Mike Tomlin got fired. He's the only head coach that got fired. Kevin Stefanski, you're fired. Finished with the worst record in the league. Not sitting well with us. And we're bringing in Mike Tomlin. Just like I did with the Jaguars, let's bring in Mike Tomlin and get some serious help for this Cleveland Browns team. I know that he's a defensive-minded guy, so that may not have as big of an influence when it comes to the quarterback that maybe we draft, but I think bringing in Tomlin is just going to help out so much. And he comes with a lot of points, but I'm going to use a good amount of these points on our other staff members. Get some help there. Get some boost there. Yeah, bringing in Mike Tomlin, I think, will help with this rebuild. It may take us longer because of the depths that we're in, but that's what we're doing. We hired Mike Tomlin to be our new head coach, and that's what we're going with. So let's take a look at the playoff picture for the first year. We've got the Chiefs against the Bengals. We've got the Bills against the Jets, and the Jaguars against the Chargers. The Ravens have the #1 seed. Cowboys have the #1 seed in the NFC. So it's Lions, Rams, and the Bucks and the Packers, and the Niners and the Eagles. So let's go ahead and cycle and get through the playoffs. We'll see who gets all the way to the Super Bowl. We'll check and look and see if any of our Browns made the Pro Bowl. And move on from there. All right, and it looks like this year's Super Bowl is going to be the Ravens and somebody else. Ravens and the Eagles. Wow. So here's the playoff recap. The Chiefs beat the Bengals, the Bills beat the Jets, and the Chargers went on the road and upset the Jaguars. So then it was the Chiefs beating the Bills by 1 point. The Ravens beat the Chargers in a tight matchup, and the Ravens finally get their revenge on the Chiefs. They beat them after it was an AFC Championship rematch. This time, it was back in Baltimore, and this time the Ravens get their revenge. NFC side, once again, the Lions beat the Rams in the playoffs. The Packers go on the road and beat the Bucks, and the Eagles upset the 49ers in Santa Clara. So it's Lions, Eagles, and the Eagles beat the Lions on the road. So the Eagles are being road warriors this season. And also the Packers beat the Cowboys in the divisional round. So history repeating itself in Dallas for my Dallas Cowboys. And the Eagles beat the Packers 24-20. And it's going to be the Eagles and Ravens in this year's Super Bowl. So that's what we are looking like for this year. Let's check out the Pro Bowl roster and see if any of the Browns made it. I doubt they did. No sign of Njoku. Myles Garrett made it. Not surprised. He may be our only Pro Bowler this year, but hey, is what it is. He's our franchise player. And Myles Garrett was our only Pro Bowler this year. All right, let's advance to Super Bowl week, and let's see the yearly awards. The MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes, and Coach of the Year is Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers. Okay. Offensive Player of the Year, nobody from the Browns there. Defensive Player of the Year, no sign of Myles Garrett. Offensive Rookie of the Year, nobody. Defensive Rookie of the Year, nobody. Best QB, nobody. Best running back, no one. Best receiver. Richie James, 8th place. Okay. So Richie James getting some love. Best offensive lineman. Joel Bitonio get 10th for best offensive lineman in the AFC. Not bad. Best defensive lineman. Myles Garrett finished 5th. Best linebacker. No one. Best DB. Denzel Ward came up 2nd for best DB in the AFC. So shout out to him. I think he had 6 interceptions this season, so he had a pretty good year. Best kicker. Nobody, and that's it. No Browns really in recognition for anything except Denzel Ward finished 2nd for best DB in the AFC. So close, but no cigar. All right, so let's see who wins the Super Bowl between the Ravens and the Eagles. And it was the Eagles winning their first Super Bowl since the 2017 season. They beat the Ravens. The MVP of the game was C.J. Gardner-Johnson of the Eagles. They won 24-21. Of course, the MVP was Mahomes. Coach of the Year was Jim Harbaugh. Offensive Player of the Year also was Mahomes. Defensive Player of the Year was Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys. Offensive Rookie of the Year was Jordan Whittington of the Rams, so shout out to him. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is Jared Verse from the Rams. And that is year 1. And let's go ahead and take a look now at retirements. Let's see who has retired. More specifically, let's take a look and see who retired from the Browns. If anybody, we did have a few guys. Rodney McLeod retired after 13 years, not surprised there. And Charlie Hughley, one of our backup tight ends, who was actually hurt the whole season, retires after 11 seasons. So lost a couple of guys, but both of them were backups, so no sweat there. All right. So we are in, I think, the re-sign period. So here's what I'm going to do here. This is, I think, the first moment that we can readjust contracts. So, where's Watson? Can we restructure his contract? Yes, we can. It'll free $22.4 million in cap space. Will be added per year to the final 1 year of his contract. Contract restructured. Okay, so we did that with Watson. So now we're kind of out of the hole, which is fine. Let's go back to some of the more top guys. Can we restructure Myles Garrett's contract as well? It'll free $6.9 million. Okay. So we restructured Myles Garrett. That's good. I just want to get out of the negative if we can. Nick Chubb is a free agent, so I'm not going to do anything with that. Restructured Denzel Ward. It'll free $7.3 million in cap space. Okay. Njoku, can we restructure his deal? No, we can't. What about Nwosu or Greg Newsome? Let's try Newsome first. Nope. All right, Nwosu, can we restructure his deal? Free up some space? Nope, can't do it. Okay, well, we at least restructured a few of the top guys. So let's see kind of what that does for us. Now, ready to negotiate. We have $38 million now to work with. Nick Chubb, we want you here. Not interested in signing. Okay. Well, we're going to franchise tag you then. All right, we have $28 million now. I didn't want to risk losing him. Willis is really not interested in re-signing. That's the issue. A lot of these guys aren't interested. Richie James is, And he was our best receiver last year. So and we brought him in off of the street. So you know what? I'm going to show some loyalty. 2-year deal. This with $22 million. So we're going to let Elijah Moore walk because we got Richie James coming back. None of these guys, barely any of these guys are even interested in signing with us now, which is pretty tough sledding here. And maybe we can get better at left tackle if we let Willis walk. So I'm going to take that risk. Leave it with some money to spend this offseason. Answer a media question. Nick Chubb is in the final year. He's going to be a part of this team one way or another, and he is. He was franchise tagged this year. We're just going to have to work it out this next offseason coming up. That's what we have to do. All right, well, everybody else is cut, and we're going to move on to week 1, to free agency. All right, now let's take a look at our roster and see what we all have to work with. So the first big elephant in the room is you. I have no idea how much value we can even get for Watson. Are there any teams that need any type of quarterback? The Broncos could use one. What will you give? Will you give us just a pick, a 3rd-round pick for Watson? Don't value it. Okay. What about a 4th-rounder? Declined. Okay. Colts also need a QB. What about a 4th-rounder from you guys? Trade declined. Okay. So you know what? We'll go lower. We're going to trade Watson for a freaking 5th-round pick. What the? If it will put us over the salary cap. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, who needs a QB and who has a lot of cap room? Commanders have a lot of cap room. Can we just get a 5th-round pick from you guys? We can't consider the offer if it will put us over the salary cap. Wow. All right, that's 8. The Eagles have $84 million in cap room. What about them? Will put us over this. Jesus Christ. I guess we just can't trade Watson to anybody. Which is... If we release Watson, what's the penalty? It'll free up minus 40. Penalty of 98. Golly. First of all, remove his captain. Yeah, you're removed as a captain for sure, dude. Just don't know how I can get rid of this guy. I had a feeling this wasn't going to be easy, but there's got to be somebody who's willing to take this guy. Trading him in the division isn't the most popular thing. All right, maybe we could get somebody off of maybe the Steelers. All right, who's some of maybe their top guys? Holcomb. They'll still put him over the salary cap. All right. Oh boy. Okay. So I'm going to look up something, maybe a cheat, how to trade Deshaun Watson. How to trade Deshaun Watson. Is there a way to trade him in Madden? That was 24. So all right, let me look this up really quick. I know I'm not a fan of like using cheats or anything like that, but
Vic here, here with a Madden 25
I know I'm not a fan of like using cheats or anything like that, but
Vic here with a Madden 25
but I have to do this. Like using cheats or anything like that, but
probably has a cap on how you can do this. They probably have restrictions on this, but if you are the league head in your online league, or if you're just kind of franchising one off, you can just number one, make sure you're not in the trade deadline before the players does. There's a trade deadline in league settings. You can just turn it off. I'll show you how you can turn it off. Go into your league settings where the trade deadline is. The trade deadline in real life is past week 8. Once you're past week 8, you can no longer make trades. Here we are with the trade deadline. You can just turn it off if you need to. Trade deadline is from week 9 all the way up until the Super Bowl and the re-signings. Once you're in free, now doesn't really free agents, a receiver or overall, you got a great. Go to NFL roster, and I got a Ravens player because it's restricted in 2000. You have to turn off your trade deadline in your league settings, and then once you go here, go to whatever that receiver was, the Saunders guy that I had, CJ Saunders. Let's see what we have for him. Hit yes, and it is accepted. So nobody in free agency just got traded for Lamar Jackson. Of course, since he's still a punter, I'm using the Patriots right now. Go to my punters, Lamar Jackson. Go to edit player, and then of course you're going to change him from punter to quarterback. Change player.
Okay. Well, maybe it looks like I can cheat this a little bit. But let's see if I can do this. Okay, well, this is kind of a broken way to do this, but let me see if I can do it. Let's go to edit Let's go to Lamar Jackson, edit Watson. I'm going to change him to a punter, and then we are going to basically trade him, try to trade him again. We're going to trade. Let's just go to our roster again, and let's go ahead and go to Watson, who's our fill-in punter, and we are going to trade him. Okay, so let's see if this works now. I know this is a broken way to do this, but just feel like I got to get him off the books. And I really think the team really did kind of decently need a quarterback. Maybe just so I don't have to trade in the division. Maybe the Saints. I just want to pick. That's it. Put the other team over the salary cap if accepted. Try making it different. Okay, well, let's see. Wasn't there a team that had like $80 million? Rams. They were one of the teams that I was kind of looking at a little bit. Let's go with the lower 6th-round picks. Don't feel this brings enough value, obviously. Oh, gosh. What about a 6th-round pick in 2027? Still declined. Wow. So I guess maybe I just can't do this. Okay, guys. All right. Well, let me just do this right. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Normally. I'm gonna just change him back to a quarterback. Let's go ahead and add him to the trading block. They'll contact us if they're interested. So that's what we're doing. We're going to add him to the trade block, and we just maybe have to wait until after the draft to trade him away. I think that's all we can do. We just have to do it that way, guys. In the meantime, we can still focus on what we really need, and we need, help in a lot of ways. So let's focus on that. It's the best we can do. All right. We do need actually a center. So Ryan Kelly was somebody who I was a little bit intrigued by, if I'm being honest, as far as free agents that were at the top. Doesn't fit our scheme, but he's interested in coming here. 1 year, can we do that? We're down to $11.7 million. We're number 1 on his list, so that's good. There's really not a lot of people that are even really interested in coming to the Browns. A lot of the top guys just aren't interested. So to make them interested, we would have to offer them a lot of money. So that would make things pretty tough for us. One thing we do need is a fullback. And I think Andrew Beck is kind of a low-tier guy, but we just need a new fullback. So let's go ahead and get him. Let's go after him. We're his only offer, so he'll probably accept that. Are there any decent receivers who are somewhat interested in coming here? Nicole Hardman is a little bit interested. Let's see if we can get him. Obviously, we won't have him on now. We're down to $1.67 million. So, yeah, we're going to be, once again, we're going to be, constantly restricted like that. Let me actually go and see maybe what positions, we really just need to focus on upgrading maybe in the draft. Obviously, quarterback. Running back wise, of course, we got Nick Chubb locked on the franchise tag. We're going to, of course, look to get some more help there. Ford, I think I'll keep him as the backup. We have a bunch of running backs. I want to release some of these guys. We have way too many running backs. Sir Roderick, ooh, you're text. Okay, I'll keep Sir Roderick for a little bit. Didn't know you were on the roster, buddy. Red Raider. Go ahead and release some of these random guys. Okay. We're down to 4 backs. Going after that fullback. We don't have a left tackle, so we have to get that. So Zadarius Smith is still under contract, looks like, for 1 more season. So that's actually not the worst thing. We don't have a left outside linebacker, so we need to go get one of those. Woody, let's go ahead and release you if we can. We need a backup right outside linebacker if we can find one. We have a bunch of extra corners. Let's go ahead and release Hesseltine. And let's also release the last guy. Lance Boykin. Let's get rid of him. All right. Maybe that'll free us a little bit of extra room to do some work. Thornhill is actually still here. We do need a backup. Okay, so positions that we don't have anybody are left outside linebacker and left tackle. Okay. So because of that, I'm actually going to withdraw my offer that I sent to Ryan Kelly, mostly because that's not a position that we don't have anything of. So let's see about left tackles. Obviously, we let Willis walk. None of these guys are really interested in coming here. I want to at least get some guy in the 70s that kind of fits our scheme. Let's see about Charles Leo Jr. Nobody's really throwing any money his way. Let's just do this one-year deal action and see if this gets us at least to land a left tackle. We just need a left tackle, basically, at this point. Left outside linebackers. There's some scheme fit guys here, but nobody's interested at all except for Justin Houston, at least a little bit. Well, Justin Houston, I think, may be one of our easier players to pursue in terms of just, motivating him to come here. Okay. Ngakwe actually is a pretty solid right outside linebacker. We could probably bring in. Cheap one-year deal for him. Yeah, nobody else is offering anything his direction, so yeah. Okay. Okay. We've kind of offered some low deals. We have 7.98 million left, and I think we've reached our limit on negotiations anyway with 5 players. So these are the guys that we're targeting. There's not a whole lot, but we are targeting Mecole Hardman for help at receiver. We are targeting Ngakwe. We're targeting Leo Jr., targeting Beck, and Justin Houston. None of these guys are really top-tier guys, but then again, none of the top-tier guys are really even interested in coming to Cleveland. So I think we just got to take a week and every we can get. So we'll see. All right, let's see. Did we sign any of these guys? Did we sign anybody? We signed Hardman, and we got Andrew Beck. Ngakwe is still interested, and so is Leo in Houston. We're still at the top of all those guys' list. So we got Hardman Jr. Mecole Hardman to be our new secondary receiver to go alongside Jerry Jeudy. So that's pretty solid. So we got an 81, and we got another 81. I didn't know he was an 81. So Hardman is a scheme fit guy also, so that should help us out a little bit at receiver. And, of course, we got a new fullback in Andrew Beck, who's actually 72 overall, so he's rated a little better than I thought. So that's pretty good there. All right. Let's see. What else can we really use? Obviously, we could use a new center, but maybe the draft would be our time to find somebody like that. The rest of the offensive line actually isn't that bad. And I think even though we get Leo, I think we could still look at a left tackle in the draft as well. Not in the first round, maybe the later rounds. Defensive line is not that bad. We still have Zadarius Smith for it looks like one more season potentially. 32 years old, 76 overall. And Ogabo or Okolu is a 76 overall as well. Myles Garrett, defensive end. We don't have any holes there. We have 3 defensive tackles already on the roster. We do need a left outside linebacker. If we get Justin Houston, that'll be a good veteran startup for that. We could use some help at middle linebacker to get that better. Hopefully I get that backup right outside linebacker that I was interested in as well. Still have Levi Wallace from the trade that we did last year. Corners are actually looking decent. Hopefully we get that backup strong safety that I put in an offer for. Okay. So let me go back to free agency and see what we still have to work with. So Ngakoue is still, so Houston, Ngakoue is going to be that backup that I was talking about earlier. Leo, we got them, okay. All right, so let me just see. Well, Kelly already went somewhere else, so we can't go after him. Hmm. Do we need a backup strong safety? Because Xavier Woods is out there. We do. Let's see if we can get him. Chuck Clark is actually more interested in coming here. We could probably offer him a cheaper deal, and he would bite that. All right, Chuck Clark. Get him as a backup strong safety. That'd be a pretty solid offer there. Okay. That's the only new offer I'm going to put in. Actually, we do need another quarterback. Let's see if we can get a backup quarterback, a cheap one who's actually interested in coming here that we don't have to pay a lot for. Jake Browning, Washington. Let's bring him in on a one-year deal. Team-friendly deal, actually, for 2 years. Let's bring him in and do that. Of course, now we have basically no money. The Seahawks actually offered more money, so we're probably not going to land him, but it is what it is. Okay. All right, so let's advance through next week, see if we close the book on those other guys. Okay. Let's see if we got anybody. So we did get Ngakoue. That's good. We got Leo. And we got Houston. Guys that we've still targeted, Chuck Clark. I'm guessing Browning went somewhere else. So, yeah, we're going to save that $4.18 million and use what we can with it. So that's the plan that I got for that. All right, let's take a look at our roster now with those signings that we have. I'm content with Leno being a 72 overall left tackle going into this season. I mean, 33 years old. He's basically kind of a bridge player at this point, like his thing suggests. We may just go with the 69 overall center again. Lord knows our offensive line didn't block very well in the game that I played. And, of course, we got Justin Houston, 68 overall, not very good, 36 years old, really, really old. He doesn't fit our scheme, but he was also somebody that we didn't have to pay a lot for. We got him in on a cheap veteran minimum deal anyway. Obviously, if we get somebody better in the offseason with the draft, that may be a good route to go with it. But getting Ngakoue, I think, was actually a pretty solid pickup as well for a right outside linebacker. So I think this is a pretty solid get for us. Can I change this number to something in the 90s? Let's change it to 92. If we get Chuck Clark, that'll solve our backup safety conundrum there. Still content with Jerome Ford being our backup running back. I think that's solid depth right there, if you ask me. Fullback has been taken care of in terms of getting somebody, and getting Hardman is a solid, receiver. So that'll help us out. I know he wore number 12 when he was with the Chiefs last year. Can I change it to that? Let's change it to that. I mean, that's Josh Gordon's old number technically, but it's what it is. Gives us a little bit of help there. Can I actually restructure his deal? I saw it at the bottom of the screen. Say 1.92 million. Okay. So with these new guys that we signed, I forget you can actually restructure their deals right when you sign them. Well, some of them you can. You can't restructure everybody's. Well, probably because, we only got most of these guys for 1 year anyway. And I think Ngakwe's on a 1-year deal as well. Is he? Yeah, he is. Okay. But Hardman's on a multi-year deal. So, okay, so maybe since we were able to free up some space with that, maybe we have a little bit more that we can go and get one more guy. Maybe a quarterback now. Browning went to the Jets. But Mike White fits our scheme. 1-year deal to get him probably. Yeah, never done 3.2 million. Yeah, and nobody else is offering anything to Mike White, so we're going to get him as our backup quarterback. He's our only free agent target for the final, wave of free agency. So hopefully we get him as our backup quarterback. Well, other backup quarterback in addition to who we already have, and we do. So I think White becomes automatically our backup quarterback. Or is it, okay, well, Dorian Thompson-Robinson is still a 62 overall. Mike White's a 67. Not too much lower than Watson in terms of ratings, so it is what it is. All right, so let me see the stat. All right, so let's go ahead and see what the final mock draft is predicting us to do with the number 1 pick. I think we have it. Do we have it? We do have it. So they're actually projecting us to take Quinn Ewers. I guess he's the best quarterback in this year's draft. I mean, Carson Beck actually fits our scheme, but I don't want to reach if Quinn Ewers is the best guy. So I think maybe that might be the way to go in the draft with Quinn Ewers. So let's advance to the draft stage now, and let's get ready. Cool Kid Naj, thanks for the comments, man. I know I haven't been looking at them. Thanks a lot. Come on in. Okay. Elizabeth Green, keep up the good work. Love your content. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. That's really good. Good compliments, especially considering some of the stuff that I saw that was commented on my channel last night. So I appreciate the support. Sorry I didn't see these comments earlier, guys. I was, distracted with what I was doing, and I know it looks like those comments actually came about half an hour ago, so I'm sorry about that. But Elizabeth and Cool Kid Naj, thanks for the comments. I appreciate it. All right, so let's get ready for the draft. Start drafting.
Career starts as a dream.
Skip the video, and we do have the number 1 overall pick. Let's make some magic here in Cleveland again. Well, Will Johnson actually is the best-rated player in the draft, and Will Campbell is not that bad as well. Do need a left tackle, but let's get the QB. Quinn Ewers, come to Cleveland and change the face of the franchise. B-. So it is a good pick. Excels at throwing downfield, feels pressure and delivers under fire. Questions about his inner arm strength. All right. Well, we got the rookie out of Texas. Here we are with our 2nd-round pick. All right. There are some, this right outside linebacker, Abdul Carter, fits our scheme. We do need some backup depth there, but Owosu is our starter. We could use some more help at corner, I suppose. There's some quarterbacks that are still left. This defensive tackle doesn't look too bad. Let's go with Abdul Carter, right outside linebacker. We may kick him over to the left side if with Nwosu being our starter. It says good pick. Great speed to cover and track down tackles. Most pass rush wins come from finesse moves. Average recognition leads to inconsistent play. Still, good pick. Abdul Carter, 2nd-round pick of the Browns in the 2025 draft. All right, here we are with our 3rd-round pick. Isaiah Bond is there. Could use some help on the offensive line. Jaden Roberts actually doesn't look too bad. Let's go with him as our 3rd-round pick. average pick. Okay, shows good technique and IQ in the run game. Well, that's good for us with Nick Chubb hopefully staying here. Strong hands and drive, evident in power run concepts. Mental lapses are too frequent. Well, hopefully he can, get rid of those bad habits and he can be a star on the offensive line for us. All right. Kobe Bryant. This left guard doesn't look too bad, actually. Joshua Gray. You know what? Let's bulk up the offensive line here. Joshua Gray, left guard. Let's get him. He fits our scheme, too. It says average pick. All right, fits best in a zone run offense. Sometimes fooled by pressure schemes. Looks strong on tape. All right. I know we didn't really need a lot of help on the offensive line, but some of these guys are rated decently in the draft, so figured it'd be worth it. This wide receiver, Barry Brown, doesn't look too bad. He slipped to the 6th round. Let's take a gamble on him. Barry Brown. Says good pick. Track speed, serviceable hands, contact often results in a no catch. Okay, well, still, I think he's worth the risk. Some corners that are available that aren't that bad. This right end doesn't look too bad. Aaron Lewis. He might be available later, so I'm actually going to go with Jason Marshall Jr., a corner out of Florida. We haven't drafted a corner yet. Says average pick. Consistently shows high-level instincts, willing, dependable tackler, faster on tape. So far, we've had no bad picks. So far this draft, it looks like it's shaping up pretty well. I don't know about getting a punter, even if he is from Alabama. We already drafted a corner. This left in Elijah Roberts fits our scheme, and we could use some depth there. Let's go ahead and pick him. This may be our first bad pick. Oh, it's still an average pick. Will strength translate to the NFL? Question mark. Can be invisible in run game at times. Ineffective speed rusher. Okay, well, so far we haven't had any bad picks, and we have another 6th-round pick here. There's some receivers that are still left. Colin Lacey, let's go ahead and take him just so I'm not reaching. Average pick, very reliable hands, faster on tape, tends to struggle with contested catches. Okay. All right, 7th-round pick. I think this is our last pick of the draft. There's receivers left, but Ozzie Trapilo doesn't look too bad. And Jalen Rivers, I think, is the better way to go. We need a left tackle. This is our first bad pick. At least it was our only bad pick, but it was a 7th-round selection. Very powerful run blocker, gets caught by times, needs to become more strong. Okay. Still, outside of him, all the picks that we had were pretty good. So Quinn Ewers, first overall pick in this year's draft. All the mock drafts projected us to take him, so we took him as our new franchise quarterback. And he's starting out at a 74 overall. That's already made him better than Watson. When we took Abdul Carter in the 2nd round, a right outside linebacker, we may kick him over to the left side. Jaden Roberts, we drafted him at right guard. He's already up to a 70 overall. That was one of the spots on the offensive line where we were a little bit weak. And we took Joshua Gray in the 4th round, left guard, 66 overall. Barry Brown is a 74 overall wide receiver, and we got him in the 6th round. That is value if I've ever seen it. And we took Jason Marshall Jr. in the 6th round, a cornerback. Other 6th-round selection was Elijah Roberts, a defensive end, 66 overall. 68 overall for Colleen Lacey, wide receiver out of Louisville. And we took Jalen Rivers, left tackle, 7th round, 62 overall. Overall, solid draft, if you ask me. All right, so let's kind of adjust our roster a little bit. I want to see how the team is looking. And Quinn Ewers, can we actually... let me see if I can make some changes here. So I think Jerry Jeudy, didn't Jerry Jeudy wear 11 in Denver? Jerry Jeudy, didn't he wear, he wore number 10. Okay. Who wears number 10? Is somebody already wearing number 10? I feel like there is. It's Sir Roderick Thompson. Let's give him a random running back number then. 27, one away from his college number. We're going to change Jerry Jeudy back to number 10, like he wore in Denver, so we can give Quinn Ewers number 3. He is our new franchise quarterback, so he deserves to wear his college number, just like at University of Texas. New face of the franchise in Cleveland, Quinn Ewers from the University of Texas. Look at that, 75 overall to start out with. That's big. Nick Chubb, fullback, Hardman, James, Darian Brown. Let's see what his college number was. Played at Kentucky, right? I think he did. Yeah, he does. Currently, actually. Where's number 7? Don't think 7 is available. What about 87? Maybe I can make him 87. Yeah, we're just making that for his rookie year. Starting out, he's already our 4th best receiver behind Richie James, and of course we signed Hardman. So we've boosted up this receiving core pretty good for the first year of the rebuild. So I like the looks of that. Left tackle-wise, we got Leo and the rookie Jalen Rivers. Don't know if this guy's real or not, but we will see. Jalen Rivers, Miami. Okay, so he is a real player. 64, and he's got his college number already, so no worries there. Joshua Gray. Plays at Oregon State, wears 67, and he's got his number already. Okay, all right, so no worries there. You know, Joel is 81 overall, but who knows how much longer he'll be here. And Gray, could be a new guy that we could use for the future. We're going to have to go, I think, with Ethan, who's a 69 overall center again. I think we're just going to have to go with that. Jaden Roberts, though. He's 77. Well, Wyatt Teller wears that number. But can we give him a number in the 70s, maybe? Roberts. I'm 76. Let's do that. And Elijah Roberts, a young defensive end we drafted. Because I don't know how much longer we're gonna have Darius Smith. Elijah Roberts from SMU. He wears number 5. Don't think anybody else is wearing number 5, so maybe we can give him that number. No, we can't. Well, let's give him 8 for now. And let's see if we can find the person who's wearing number 5. Is it a quarterback? Oh, Colin Lacey. Forgot about him. Okay. Colleen Lacey. Oh, but he wears number 5 too in Louisville. Okay. Actually, Louisville. Okay, well, he is wearing number 5 in Louisville now. All right, well, let's give him. All right, well, let's keep Lacey at 5, and Roberts can maybe like 95 or something like that. Maybe some number in the 90s. Let's just do that. He was wearing 90 earlier. Let's give him 96. All right, so let me see. Is Carter also capable of being a decent left outside linebacker as well? He's already 72 overall, so. So that already makes him better than Houston. So I think Abdul Carter. At Penn State, former Micah Parsons guy. And he wears number 11, just like Micah used to at Penn State. So we're going to hope that he's the second coming of him. Abdul Carter. We're going to make Mike White wear number 2. We're going to give Carter number 11. Hoping for big things out of the rookie in his first year. So. The rookie Abdul Carter in there at linebacker now. We still have Jordan Hicks, even though he's rated pretty low. We have Owosu, and of course we got Ngakwe as a veteran to back him up. So our linebacking core has definitely improved this year based off the draft and some of the free agent moves that we made. So that's good. I wanted to address that, and I did, so I got it working out. Ward, Wallace, Mitchell. Oh, Jason Marshall Jr. was the other guy we drafted. Okay, he wears number 3. But we can't do that because Quinn Ewers is wearing 3. So maybe Marshall will wear like 23 or something like that. Let's have him wear 35. 69 starting out as a corner, not bad. Emerson is actually up to an 80 now, so that's pretty good. And Wallace, 74. Thornhill, Hickman. We got Chuck Clark now. Yeah. So I like the makeup of this roster. The only thing that I don't like is that we still have Deshaun Watson on the team. And I just don't know if I can get rid of him. I'm going to try to trade him again because teams at this point have been through a full off season. We actually have minus $6.03 million in cap room. So I don't know what much more we can do. Well, let's go ahead and get through the last bit of the offseason, and let's advance to the first week of the preseason and see if we can do a trade now. I just don't know if we can do it. So we have cap room now. So let's see if now we can maybe trade him away. So now we have $14.1 million. Okay, so we actually have money to spend now. We'll start the season. Teams, I guess, have more to spend. Thank you, Cardinals. Finally, I got somebody to take Deshaun Watson off my hands. Deshaun Watson to the Arizona Cardinals for a 2026 fifth-round pick. It is what it is. But, Deshaun Watson is finally off of the books. So, Quinn Ewers, it's your show. This is your team, and there's nobody else breathing down your neck that you have to worry about. Great. We got Deshaun Watson off the books. So it is now Quinn Ewers' team. The new rookie out of Texas is our new starting quarterback. And that is the way that this rebuild is going to fully start, with him as our new signal caller. And I like some of the other moves that I made during the offseason in the first year. So, we only won 2 games last year. So the only thing that can happen this year is a little bit of an upswing to even maybe 7 wins, and I'll be even more happy. And, Ewers is already up to a 75 overall. So the offseason training must have been very good to him. And I'm excited to have him as our starter at quarterback now. I'm excited to see what he can do. And I'm excited to, hitch our wagon up to him and say, hey, Quinn Ewers, you're our guy. And we hope you're ready for this. So pretty exciting things for Cleveland. And we got Deshaun Watson off the books. He's now in Arizona. We just got a 5th-round pick for him. We just need to get something from him. And now we can fully move on. And we got Watson off the books. So that's big. All right, so that's going to do it for this live stream. Thank you all for watching, and excited to keep this going with the Cleveland Browns. I may pick this up tomorrow or maybe Thursday, depending on what I want to do, because as I told you guys in the last video, I'm going to be off of work tomorrow and Thursday as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.